Which camera am I looking at? Hey there, guys. What's going on? Brian Kemper here. Just wanted to come on today after watching the State of the Union address yesterday. Wondering if anybody watched that. I've got a transcript here, but I'm going to be studying a lot more of what was said. And I wanted to just talk about what the state of our union is when it comes to safety and life and death. And before the State of the Union, I was watching Brit Hume on Tucker Carlson, and it was amazing to see that that they're willing to now start talking about what is going on with the abortion industry. And it really is an industry. It's an industry of death, an industry of killing. And with what happened in New York, with what happened in is about to happen possibly in Virginia, Vermont, Rhode Island, different places that want to legalize the killing of human beings inside their mother's womb up until the day they are born, And it was great to hear our president talk about that and talk about how every child is a holy image of God. And that is something that was absolutely amazing to hear from our president, and to see the reaction of, we'll call them the ladies in white, AOC, Alexandra Cortez, and to see them with their faces so upset and so smug and so upset that the president would talk about how children in the womb are alive, that they are images of God, that they are human beings, that they deserve a right to live. It was, as someone just said, yes, pagan sacrifice on the altar of abortion. Absolutely. But to look at their reaction, in fact, if you really watched them, they were so intent on just opposing anything that the president said, that at one point the president spoke out against human trafficking. And I don't know anybody who agrees with human trafficking. Yet AOC had to be tapped and reminded, oh, it's okay to stand up and clap against human trafficking. She was so intent on just being that she wouldn't even stand up and clap for that at first. And it was very obvious. And when he said that we're not going to be a socialist nation, you could see Bernie Sanders just very upset, just like, oh. And their agenda is obvious. They want this to be a socialist nation. They want child killing on demand through all 9 months of pregnancy. And I would think that, as Peter Singer, the head of ethics at Princeton University, has even argued for retroactive abortion, up until 2 years after a child is born. And the legislator in Washington who blocked legislation that would say that if an abortion is botched and that child is still miraculously born alive, comes out alive, that doctors are required to give medical care and to try to save that, to block this and say that they could just let it sit there in a corner and die. It's absolutely asinine. It's insane. Kamala Harris shook her head for human trafficking. I mean, seriously, what is going on in our country? And people always tell me, oh, I don't know, if voting's important. I think this proves to us how important voting is. Look at what happened in New York. The fact is, less and less people voted, and now they are legalizing abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. It is time that we, as a people, get these people out of office that are proposing that it's okay to kill human beings. I mean, that's what's going on. We have legislators, we have congresswomen and men, senators who are saying and literally celebrating the killing of innocent human beings. So here at Priest for Life and Stand True Pro-Life Outreach, which I am the head of, yes, I can see your comment, Daryl, as they start to screen down. Our goal is to educate, activate, and equip this generation to be the generation that abolishes abortion. Abortion is the evil of our age. It is the plague of this generation. It is something that is so vile and so evil. I mean, I wish I could show you photos, but I can't. It's so disgusting. It's so insane. But you could Google abortion images, and you could see the absolute destruction of human life. You know, they're censored on most platforms, on most social media platforms. They try to censor these images because they are so disturbing. They are so disturbing when you actually see this. And so we need to expose this. We need to be a light in the darkness. We need to expose the truth. We need young people to be voting for politicians who will stand up for life. And that's really what we need. I watched the State of the Union address from the beginning to end last night, and I felt like so proud to be an American, to be honest, listening to our president and listening to what he stood for and him speaking out against human trafficking, against abortion, about protecting our nation. It's absolutely amazing. He says, I'm certainly against the murder of children following birth. Well, we should be against the murder of children, WX nut, whatever that is, from the moment that they're created, from the moment that they're alive, from the very moment the sperm and the egg unite with 23X and 23 Y chromosome to form a unique human person with their own DNA, separate from the DNA of their parents. We need to protect all human life. We need to absolutely stand for all human life. Yes, as this one says, these are the most vulnerable and innocent citizen. Where is the law? You know, on January 22nd of 1973, with Roe versus Wade and Doe versus Bolton, the killing of innocent children was decriminalized. We have seen this in our nation's history in the past. We have seen what happened with the Dred Scott decision in 1857, where they upheld the 3/5 compromise, saying that black people were only 3/5 of a human. We know how disgusting that is. We know how wrong that is, and how wrong our Supreme Court was, how wrong our nation was to treat human beings like that. And we're doing it again. We're doing it again. You know, I just came back from the March for Life in Washington, D.C. and the Walk for Life on the West Coast. And again, seeing the hundreds of thousands of people standing up. But most of the media will not show that. They won't show the fact that so many hundreds of thousands of people stood up for life. One person says, I am pro-life, but also bodily autonomy. I'm so conflicted. There really is no conflict here. The body of the human being that's being ripped from limb should have every right like everyone else. That is a separate body, a separate human being with their own heartbeat, their own DNA. I understand, you know, the other side wants to throw all these fancy terms and try to confuse people. You know, that's why they say choice instead of pro-abortion. They don't want to admit that they're pro-abortion. The bodily autonomy of that baby, that human being inside the womb, should matter just as much, and their life should be just as precious and just as protected. So the only controversy about abortion is that it happens, is that it continues to happen. Kat says that our president spoke about abortion last night. My church hasn't preached about it. Talk to your church. Go to your pastor. Ask him. Plead with him. Beg with him. Tell them that he has to stand up for life. You know, I remember many years ago, there was a young man named Phil in a school in Michigan, a Catholic high school. He went to his principal and said, "Hey, I want to bring Brian Kemper in to come speak to us. We're a Catholic high school. He's going to speak to us about pro-life, and it's great." And the principal says, no, and said, "No, we can't do that." So that young man, Phil, went to his office every single morning for 2 months, sat outside his office and waited for him to come in and asked him the same question over and over and over until the principal finally broke down and brought me in to speak to that school. And I got to go there and speak to that school and inspired so many young people. Phil ended up becoming a missionary with us, going out on the road with us, standing up for life. You say, "I'm not pro-abortion, I just can't get forcing a woman to continue a pregnancy." See, it's all in the wording that you're using, WX Nut. It's all in the wording that you're using. It's not about forcing a woman to continue a pregnancy, it's about forcing her not to kill her child. See, if you word it differently, what abortion is the intentional killing of an innocent human person. So what you're doing is you're saying you cannot kill a human being. We force people not to commit murder. We force people not to commit rape. We force people do not commit robbery. Do not drink and drive. You can force people to do something, to not do something that harms other human beings. You have a right to do whatever you want with your body until you use your body to harm another human being. I don't have a right to walk up to someone and just punch them in the face. I'm using my body to harm them. I have lost that right. I don't have the right to use my body to harm another human being. And we have a right to say, you cannot do that. I have a right to, if I walk down the street and I see a man hitting a woman, I have a right to physically stop him and force him from not harming that person. We do have that. We have that right. I would prefer ending a pregnancy while ending in a live birth. That's exactly, we have to, that's the way you terminate a pregnancy, is by giving birth, not by taking that child, that human being inside of the woman, and murdering that child. It's all in the way we word things. It's all in the way that we describe it, and we have to use the proper language. Abortion is an act of homicide. Homicide means one person killing another person. That's what it is. Abortion is an act of homicide. The abortionist goes in and dismembers or poisons, kills that little human being. And we must stand against it. We must absolutely stand against that. We have been silent for too long. We have been silent for too long. A lot of people say, well, that's not my issue. That's not my issue. It is our issue. It is our responsibility as human beings. And if you're a Christian, especially as Christians, we have that responsibility to reach out and to love our neighbor as ourself. Love our neighbor as ourself. The Bible says everything can be brought down to love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. Our neighbor is our fellow human being. And like the parable of the Good Samaritan, the Good Samaritan didn't stop and say, oh, am I called to a ditch ministry? No. The Good Samaritan saw his fellow human being in that ditch, reached out and loved his neighbor as himself. And these preborn children killed almost 3,000 times a day in America. 900 just by Planned Parenthood alone. 900 a day by Planned Parenthood alone. They are our neighbors. They are our fellow human beings. And we have a right and a responsibility to stand up. So if you're watching this right now, if you're watching this, please like this channel. Please hit follow me on this. I'm going to be talking, hopefully every day, coming on talking about different ways that you guys can get involved in the pro-life movement. What I want to encourage everyone today is social media. Social media is a great way to get the message out. I've been able to reach so many hundreds of thousands of people through social media. And I'm on Twitter at Brian Kemper, Brian with a Y, Facebook, Instagram. Now I'm on Twitch. It's a new thing for me. but I tweet daily about pro-life. You can go on there, follow my social media, follow us. Go to prolifesocialmedia.com and see tons of different handles that we use. It says if we don't give them a voice, if we don't give a voice to the voiceless, how will anybody hear them? We need to help. Absolutely. Absolutely, we need to give a voice for the voiceless. We need to cry out for them. Those children, okay, a lot of you probably don't remember Hurricane Katrina, but during this Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, you had these helicopters circling the city of New Orleans as people were in the water and everywhere, and they were crying out, help me, help me, help me. And the world saw that cry for help. The children in the womb can't reach out and cry out for help. They need your voice. They need you to be that voice. So I encourage everybody, if you have a channel on Twitch, talk about this, chat about the fact that we need to stand up for human life. Follow me on social media, follow different pro-life organizations on social media, get involved. And it says, I can't imagine what goes into that decision to abort, but that's just my feeling. Obviously, everybody has that, but because we've normalized the killing of innocent children, WX we've normalized it. We've said that it's just a choice, it's just a decision. No, it's not just a choice and just a decision. That decision, let's break down that decision. What is that decision? That decision is to go and pay someone money to kill a human being. So no, it's not a decision that it's okay to make. I can't imagine the decision someone makes when they rob a house, when they go in and do any other crime. It may have been a tough decision for them, but it doesn't make it right. It's wrong. Killing an innocent human being, excuse me, live TV, I guess, you know. Killing another human being is wrong, and therefore that decision can never be allowed. I can never allow someone to make a decision to harm another human being. WX, I want to thank you at least for being honest on here. I thank you for being honest. You've given me your honest questions, and I hope people commenting aren't attacking you on that. You're actually being honest about that, and I think that's awesome. What I want to do today, I've only got a couple more minutes today, but I want to encourage everybody, come back every day, follow this. Please follow this channel because I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be giving you tons of different ways and ideas to get involved. Today I talked about voting, social media, but please go to standtrue.com. Standtrue.com is my website. That's our organization. If you want to make a donation to help us out in our work or follow us on social media, that's what we need. WX Nut, thank you. I hope you'll follow me, and I hope you'll continue to ask questions. I appreciate it. H. Bennett just said, WX Nut, good question. Good. So anyway, I'm done for today. We'll come back. Let's see, one more. I got a question. What made you attracted to using Twitch, and what are your plans to advertise it? One of our social media guys, Rob, told me about Twitch. He works here at Priest for Life, and I'm going to be advertising on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all over. Standtrue.com. Yes, that's the website, standtrue.com. Follow me on social media. Thank you so much. Tell your friends about this channel. I'll be on a lot more as soon as I can, but I appreciate you guys watching today. And if you did not get a chance to watch the State of the Union address, go back. It's on the internet. Watch it, read the comments, watch what happened. But I appreciate it. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. And I've got another meeting to go to and get some dinner. And I'll be back talking to you guys tomorrow, hopefully.